Welcome, everybody. My name is Al, and over the next 5 years, my goal is to be able to retire. I am currently living in California with my family, and I want to show you my portfolio so that I can encourage and help others reach their financial goals as well. I plan to be producing a video about every week with a monthly recap as well. I have been investing, let's say, over the past 10 years or so. I've recently diverted all of my resources into M1 so that it's a lot easier to track. It's a lot easier to auto invest. So currently, I have a portfolio size of just over $240,000. I'm going to go through a couple different portfolios that I have to show you what I've been doing. I really like M1. I like the platform. As you can see, I've been using M1 since July 2020, right around the COVID time. I transferred my 401k from a previous employer into M1 rather than roll it over into the new employer's 401k. I felt that I could better manage my funds on my own, which has proven true. I'm not a student of finance at a university. However, I have done what I call is YouTube University studying for a couple of years now, and I feel like I have a very good grasp on stocks and bonds and ETFs and mutual funds, etc. And I've learned the finance language, and I hope to impart some of that wisdom onto you. So what I like to do here is show you this is all over the course of my time with M1. Basically, I transferred this large sum into M1, and as you can see, over time with regular deposits into the account, it has grown from 91,000 in January 2021, all the way up to currently, almost $250,000. What's great about M1 is if I do the year to date, I can see I started this year in January at 177,000, and it has grown basically, right here, almost $70,000 since January 1. Now I do invest money every week, around $400 every week. Yes, that can be a lot, but I live very frugally. I live simply. In some later episodes, I'll go over some of the little tips that I use to divert more funds into this portfolio so that my future self will thank me. So let me go into the first portfolio, which is what I call the dividends portfolio. This portfolio has about $108,000 year to date. It has a return of 17.66%, which is great. Generally, the market averages around 8 to 10%. So I'm at 17.66. And again, what's nice is you can look at how this portfolio has performed over the last month. It's gone up 1% over the last month. Over the last 3 months, it's gone up 11%. But year to date, it is just over 17.66%. I really like SCHD. That is an ETF that I have the most shares. It has the most value. And clearly, Coca-Cola, that was a stock that I was pretty adamant about not purchasing. I consider sodas poison. But I realized that Americans love poison, and even healthy, nutritious drinks a big company like Coca-Cola is just going to purchase that company and absorb them. So there's really not a whole lot of ways around Coke. If I click on them, you can see that I own 155.33 shares. My average price is $61.81. I buy every Monday, every Tuesday. I purchased Coke. You can see I've only owned it since this year. Or let's see. Let me go to all. It's that's it. It's this year I've owned Coke. Because again, I was adamant about I didn't want this company that is basically sugar water and a caramel coloring, which is a carcinogen, growing. Unfortunately, it's just one of those companies that is so big, they're going to buy out the good companies, the healthy companies, the natural companies, the organic companies. And so, I guess maybe I sided with the dark side a little bit here, but I started in January owning, about $400 worth, probably 5 or 6 shares. And I've just kept buying and buying and buying. And year to date, it's up almost 30%. Coke, so keep drinking Coke, I guess. I've earned $157 worth of dividends. I mean, it's a great stock. Unfortunately, it's a poor product, in my opinion, but it's a great stock. And if you look at this portfolio, which was my first portfolio, I'm just going to scroll down to show you that this year, if you look, I've got a really good track record, fortunately, of purchasing the right stocks. I generally stay away from individual stocks, which I've learned to do because I don't want to track them. I don't want to follow them too much. A stock like JetBlue can go up or down. It can get into bankruptcy. It can have a bad CEO. There's too many variables. I don't like individual stocks. But again, this is my first portfolio. So there's a ton of stocks in here that I initially picked, and I've just kind of done well with them. As you'll see as I scroll to the top, I have some holdings that are not into pies. I recently sold some stock in a company I got out of. I can't remember if it was Verizon or AT&T, but I'm going to divert that back into probably one of my top 5 or 10 companies. So the other portfolio I have is an IRA. This is currently valued at just over $114,000. Year to date, this portfolio is almost doing as well as my other portfolio at 16% for the year, which is great. This portfolio also has SCHD. This is more of my higher IQ portfolio. This one was compiled about 2 years ago after I fully kind of understood the stock market and the stocks and ETFs, etc. And so most of these are ETFs. And as you'll see, this portfolio has significantly less ETFs in it. It's less than half, and all of them are in the green year to date because I had, for lack of a better way of putting it, leveled up in terms of knowing which companies that I want to invest in. The companies that I choose are companies that pay dividends, because that is really my investment strategy. And there are a number of strategies on how to invest, from individual stocks like NVIDIA that'll skyrocket 3,000% to a much slower, consistent, say, safe or secure way to invest, which is through dividends. And these dividends are auto-invested, so they're dripped. When they pay dividends, I just repurchase automatically more shares of the stock so that it gets reinvested and that snowball compounds a lot quicker. I'll go into some more of some financials, living in California, costs. We own a small home, what that looks like in future weeks. But, hopefully you'll follow along. Maybe this might inspire you to start. Again, I started 10, 12, X amount of years ago, really small, $40 here and there. And over the years, I've just put more and more into it. And like they say, that first 100,000 it takes a while to get there. It could take 7 years. But once you get to 100,000, it starts to compound quicker. And I don't have the table in front of me, but I want to say it could take about 5 years to get to your next 100,000. And then it's like 4 years to get to the next, and then 3. And it's using that power of compounding. But it's that initial 100,000 that's kind of the bear to get to. And you just have to think of your future self. What do you want to do? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to travel? Where do you want to live? What that looks like. And you have to have a goal. You have to take the steps to reach that goal. Otherwise, you're just in a boat in the ocean paddling. You don't know where you're paddling. You don't know your destination. You don't know when you're going to get there. You don't have any idea of your course, your direction, or anything. And so I do want to point out that this portfolio also has a cash, what I call excess. I may pay off our car loan here soon, which is right around this balance, which will come off that total of 240. But you can see on $18,000 in cash, I earned in the month $56.97. So not a very good return on $18,000. But you know, that's what it is. So I hope you decide to kind of follow the journey, learn more about my portfolio. Feel free to put some suggestions in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. Again, I plan on doing this weekly with monthly recaps on how the account is doing. My goal would be in 5 years to have this amount be close to $1 million. What that looks like in terms of a 9-to-5 job. Where do I want to live? The world's a big place, and as expensive as things are in California, there's a lot of places that aren't quite as expensive in the States, as well as other countries that are pretty cool to explore. And so just want to put that out there and let you know that you got to take that first step. You got to open an account, start depositing money into it, make it automated so you don't have to think about it, and learn to grow. So I hope you enjoy this short video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.